Good day. This is the continuation of the video nga una nga na-send ko. No? So this playbook serve as your strategic guide. Dali lang. Okay, ginadjust ko lang ang volume. Okay, so this playbook serve as your strategic guide to navigating modern business. So, as future entrepreneurs, you must realize that modern businesses no longer compete solely on price. Wala na sila kakompetisyon ay sa price alone or capital. Today, competitive survival sang mga entrepreneurs sa ilang nga growth nagadepend sa on an organization's capability to select, acquire, develop, use, improve, and protect technology. So sa diri nga slide sets the tone that technology is not just operational tool. It is a core pillar of your entrepreneurial strategy. So gani, hindi lang mag-focus sa kung pila ang inyo kapital o kung diin ka mo mapwesto. As early as now, you must design your business with a technology-driven mindset to survive the competitive landscape. So, what is technology? Okay. What is technology for entrepreneurs? So, we need to break a common student misconception. Technology is not just computers, smartphones, robots, or artificial intelligence. In business, technology is defined much more broadly as the application of knowledge, tools, processes, and systems to solve problems and create value. So, it is categorized into four distinct areas. The physical technology, amo ni ang tangible assets and equipment like manufacturing machines, computers, or delivery vehicles. Then we have the digital technology. Amo diri na fall ang software and communication systems such as cloud computing, e-commerce platforms, and digital payment systems. Then we have the process technology. Standardized methods and workflows used to produce or deliver products such as inventory control or standardized cooking procedures. Then we have knowledge-based technology. These are intellectual assets, specialized skills, and proprietary formulas. So like food preservation techniques or business analytics models. So if you start a specialized food brand, let's say Abisa food brand, your technology isn't just the kitchen. Isn't just the kitchen stove, no? Nga physical. It also includes your online order management software nga ang digital. So your standardized assembly line workflow is the process, and your unique shelf life preservation recipe is the knowledge base. No? So, amo ini ang dapat ninyo pamatud-an sa mga investors that technology is the complete package of your tools, secret processes, and knowledge that creates value. So, technology equals to knowledge plus tools plus process plus systems. Now, Wait lang ha. So, the innovation path. No, ari kita sa innovation path. Invention, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So, to successfully summarize an idea, you must understand how these four interconnected concepts progress. Makita nyo in invention, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Sa invention, creating something genuinely new. Like for example, the original development of the telephone. So however, an invention alone does not guarantee commercial success. It may never reach the market. No? And then technology, the practical application of knowledge, tools or system to solve problems. For example, QR codes. Then we have the innovation. When a new improved idea is successfully implemented in the market and actually creates value, invention creates something new. Innovation makes it useful and valuable. So like, 'di ba, sa innovation, we are improving or creating something from the existing technology or product. And then for the entrepreneurship, the engine that convert these innovations and opportunities into actual economic or social value. So, consider ang traditional nga entrepreneur who opens a physical clothing store versus technology-enabled entrepreneur. So, who builds an online fashion brand using TikTok, live streaming, Shopee, digital payments, and automatic courier integrations. So, the core products ng clothing is the same, but technology has completely transformed the entire business mode. So, transactional speed and customer reach. Ang madasig nga pag-growth sa inyong startup relies on your ability to use technologies to innovate how you deliver value even if you didn't invent the tools yourself. Okay? So, designing your competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is achieved when your startup performs better than competitors in ways that customers genuinely value. Technology helps you unlock this through 6 main avenues. Now, let's see. Sa diagram naton, we have the cost advantage. Reducing operating cost. Example, using barcode scanners to speed up checkout and eliminate manual errors. So this allows you to pass saving to customers. Then we have the productivity advantage. Producing more output with the same resources. So example, a bakery worker manually mixing dough makes 100 loaves a day, but using commercial mixer increases output into 400 loaves. No, mas madasig, mas madamo. Then the quality advantage. Improving product and service consistency. Example, ang programmable espresso machines that standardize coffee settings to every cup taste identical, reducing human error. So, pwede maging uniform ang mga sabor, hindi sari-sari ang sabor. Okay? So, for example, nag-order ka Americano. So, sa piyakang table nag-order Americano. So, uniform lang ang ila sabor. Okay? Unless lang kung may request na si customer nga adds and or buhin. Then, we have speed advantage. So, drastically reducing processing and waiting time. Nag-reduce sa sang waiting time. So, example labi, instant online banking transactions versus physically queuing at a branch. So, imbis nga malinya ka dito, no, ma-online ka na lang, no? That's the speed advantage. And then, differentiation advantage. Offering unique customer experiences. Example sa mobile app that lets guests check in, no? Sa mobile app require a request room service and control room temperatures remotely. And then we have customer knowledge advantage. So, gathering data to understand purchase patterns, example, sa cafe, analyzing transactional data to discover that students buy iced drinks in the afternoon while workers buy brew in the morning. Just like this previous nato na video, no, I believe I've mentioned this. So, kung may disenyo kamo sang inyong startup, identify which of these advantages you will prioritize to stand out from the crowd. Okay, dynamic capabilities, resources versus capabilities versus dynamic capabilities, no? So, to build long-term competitive edge, you must distinguish between these three concepts: the resources, capabilities, and dynamic capabilities. So, sa resources, what assets does your company have? Okay, butang tabi, sa company nyo, may computers, may cash, may software, databases, and employees. The capabilities, what can your company do with what it has? Example, using a system to forecast demand and design targeted campaigns rather than just lagging daily sales. And then we have the dynamic capabilities. So, dire na follow, how well can your company adapt when conditions change? So, it's your ability to sense environmental shifts, seize emerging opportunities, and reconfigure your resources. So, look at how three restaurants, no? Restaurants A, B, and C. Okay. So, si Restaurant A kept relying solely on dine-in and suffered heavy losses. Restaurant B adapted slightly by accepting manual orders via Messenger. Si Restaurant C rapidly deployed online ordering, digital payment, delivery, partnerships, ready-to-cook meals, and social media promotion. So, si Restaurant C survived and thrived because it displayed strong dynamic capabilities by quickly shifting its business configuration. So, bisan pareho pa kamo sang resources or negosyo sa inyong mga competitors, your success will depend on your capability to dynamically adapt when the market changes. Okay, dali lang ha. Ginahawa ko anay. Kaya duway ko kaginhawa. Okay. Ang technology investments must be perfectly balanced with strategic fit and organizational capacity. So, ang technology decision should never be random or based purely on trends. Hindi na siya random, based na siya sa trends. You must achieve strategic alignment. This is to ensure your technological investments directly support your overall business strategy. So, kung imo nga strategy is to be the lowest cost provider, you focus your technology on automation, supply chain optimization, and inventory efficiency. But if your strategy is to offer premium personalized service, you focus on customer relationship management or CRM, software, and personalized recommendation engines. So, ang entrepreneurial examples ng misalignment, sa strategic misalignments, let's say a small neighborhood bakery spending its limited capital on the incredibly expensive, complex AI inventory platform built for massive multinational corporations. So the system is too costly, mahal-mahal siya. So too complex as well, no? And has features that they will never use, no? Tamaan siya kumbaga ka high-tech nga hindi man siya needed gid sa bakery nga negosyo. Okay? So this is very costly. May misalignment sa iya nga usage. Sayang gid of course, no, ang inyo nga kwarta kag oras. So always evaluate ang technology nga imo gina-purchase based sa tatlo ka bagay: strategic fit, naka-fit siya bala strategically sa imo nga product nga gina-produce, business value niya, and organizational capability. So i-weigh mo ni tanan kung nag-align gid or appropriate gid ang machine for your business. Okay? Kung makita no di sa entrepreneurial AI platform, so neighborhood bakery lang siya, nagbakal siya sang enterprise AI platform na machine. So it's not mabudlay siya gamiton. It is not aligned gid sa baking niya nga negosyo, no, sa bakery. So there is a misalignment, no? Misalignment siya in what sense? Tamaan siya kamahal, no? And then it requires specialized employees, no? And there are unnecessary nga mga functions or features sang amo nga machines nga gamiton sa bakery. Okay? Then we have the technology management requires constant scanning of both macro and micro environments. So we have the analysis here. So you cannot make technology decisions in a vacuum. So you must continuously scan the external environment using these three major frameworks. No? The PESTEL analysis or political, ano meaning nga? Political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So sa political, government digitalization initiatives or tax incentives for tech adoption. Sa economic, exchange rate fluctuations that might make imported machinery more expensive. Social, changing consumer preferences such as growing demand for digital convenience. Then technological, disrupted tools like AI or automation affecting your sector. Legal, compliance with the strict data privacy laws when collecting customer database. Then environmental, investing in green technologies or biodegradable packaging due to climate concerns. Okay, then we have the SWOT. So, analysis, the internal and external. So, matching internal strength, weaknesses with external opportunities and threats. So, for example, if a weakness is inaccurate manual inventory, the technological solution is installing basic inventory system. So, sa SWOT analysis, you'll find out the strength, the weaknesses, and opportunity plus the threats. Okay, I know you've heard this SWOT before. And then the Porter's 5 forces industry dynamics. So, analyzing the competitive pressure. For instance, technology has lowered the barriers to entry, allowing anyone to start a shop on Shopee or TikTok. So, which drastically increases the threat of new entrants and intensify industry rivalry. So, gamitan ninyo ini nga mga tools sa inyo feasibility studies. So, you can anticipate threats. No, sa feasibility studies, actually, mostly ginagamit is yung SWOT analysis. And then, so you can anticipate ang threats and capture technological opportunities before your competitors do. Okay, pasensya na class, nag-answer lang ako sa chat, no, nag-reply lang ko. So, sa slide nga ini, technology push versus market pull. Where does innovation start? No, as entrepreneurs, you will navigate two primary forces. Ang duwa nga primary forces among technology push and market pull. Sa technology push, innovation begins because a new technology becomes available and you search for market applications. No, path, ang technology exists, find application, create products, find customer. That is an example. Rapid rise of advanced AI leading to AI writing tools, predictive analytics, and automated chatbots. Sa market pull naman, innovations begins with an unmet customer need or problem and you look for a technological solution. So, nakita nyo ni ang difference. Sa technology push, innovation begins because of new technology becomes available. Sa market pull, innovation begins with an unmet customer need or problem and you look for a technological solution. So, example A, customer problem. Then you search for solution, then develop technology. Okay, so mo nang ilang difference. Neither approach, no, is automatically superior. So, in fact, the most successful innovations happen right at the intersection where technological capability meets market demand. Okay, technology life cycle and entry strategy. Technologies move through predictable life cycle. We have the emerging stage. So, new and highly uncertain. Then we have the growth stage, rapid market adoption. Then maturity stage, standardized and widely accepted. And decline or replacement stage, where older technology is replaced, like physical CDs, sabi, being replaced by streaming platforms like Netflix, no, and other platforms. As an entrepreneur, you must strategically time your entry. Dapat kabalo ka mo sa timing sa inyong nga negosyo. So, ang first mover strategy, adapting an emerging technology. Adapt ka mo sa kung ano na nga-emerging technology, pero adapting an emerging technology very early. So, advantages ni market leadership, brand recognition, and early learning curves. Ang risk lang dire is high initial cost. Magastuhan ka sa una. Tapos, market uncertainty and technological failures. Sa technology follower strategy naman niya, or sa technology follower, waiting until the technology is established. Gahulat ka nga ma-establish ana yung technology, nga maging cheaper siya and standardized. So, ang advantage ni is lower risk, reduced cost, and ability to learn from the pioneer's mistake. So, unlike sa first mover strategy, sila giniyang una-una kumbaga sa amuna nga strategy, or sa amuna nga technology, no. So, ang disadvantage dira is it is uncertain, no, market uncertainty. So, ang failures do gatry ka nga wala ka kabalo kung maging successful or not. So, technology follower strategy naman niya, masunod lang siya sa technology kung once ang technology established na, kag less na ang risk, no. So, depende ini sa inyo risk tolerance. Ano ang risk tolerance niyo? Are you high or low? So, kag sa inyo budget. So, if you have small capital, sometimes it is smarter to be a fast follower using a stable technology rather than risk failing as an early pioneer. Nga, ikaw gidaw una sa mo nga technology, tapos na fail man lang. So, kung gamay man ang capital mo, you choose ang safer side. Okay. Then we have the continuous life cycle framework for managing technology as business resources. So, ang framework nga ni, we have the scan, select, acquire, play, evaluate, and adapt. Diba? Sa scan, naga-observe ka sang market and technology shift. So, the question is, what is changing? Sa select, choose the specific tools that align with your model. So, ang question what fits our strategy? Then, you acquire, you decide on your acquisition path. Mabakal ka bala, purchase, license, partner, or build. So, ang question mo, should we buy, build, or partner? Then, we have the apply, seamlessly integrate the tech. So, redesign processes and train your staff. No? So, ang pamangkot tiri, how will employees and customer use it? Then, we have the evaluate, measure performance metrics. So, you ask, did this technology actually improve our sales, speed, or quality? And then, sa adapt, upgrade, modify, or phase out systems as they age. So, you should ask, what should we change next? Okay? So, and then, we have break ko na yung mga 30 seconds. Then we have the management of technology or the MOT, the strategic bridge. Ang management of technology or MOT is the systematic planning, development, acquisition, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of technology, no, para to achieve organizational objectives. So, put simply, MOT means managing technology as business resource. So technology specialists understand how a technology works, while business managers understand organizational goals. MOT naman acts as the bridge connecting these two worlds. So by constantly asking, how can we use technology to achieve our business goals? So imagine a busy restaurant experiencing long customer queues, no, the queuing. So simply buying a highly sophisticated, expensive digital ordering system does not guarantee success. So ang MOT forces you to ask, can our employees use it? Can our customers navigate it easily? So what is the ROI, ang return of investment? How will it integrate with our inventory? So hindi pwede nga mag-adapt sa technology kay tungod uso o kun cool lang. So it must address the real business bottleneck and align with your operational capabilities. So technology alone does not create success. So, mayara kita sang strategic alignment drives competitive advantage. So, ang ultimate alignment ultimate alignment equation, appropriate technology selection. Pili sang technology nga appropriate kag mas nakabagay, mas valuable para sa imo nga business. Then deep customer need, no, so ma-align mo ini ang imo technology in accordance man sa needs sang imo customer. And then strong organizational capability. Do you have employees? Were they trained? Are they trained? No. And then you have clear business strategy, and this will result to long-term competitive advantage. Alright? So, that is for now, no? So, sa unang video and this one, we finished the unit 1 already.